Welcome to the Apex, everyone. I'm your host, Zell, and today we've got a little bit of news and a lot of videos to go through. So let's get into sharp news. In the blog and print world, we've got knife news with a toothpick-sized fire starter for those little Swiss Army knives and the bigger Swiss Army knives over on Kickstarter. It's a very reasonable Kickstarter. If you carry Swiss Army knives, you probably want to go check it out. And from Bulgaria, Manly Knives breaks into the North American market. They've got some couple of pretty neat designs. Not really anything for me, but some of you guys may be really into it because the prices are very, very reasonable for what you're getting. And then we have the Spyderco's 2018 discontinued list. Now on this, a lot of you guys really pick on some companies because they have, say they release 10, 15, 20 knives a year, some of them more. Have you ever really looked at how many knives Spyderco releases a year? It's insane. Really. Look next year at SHOT Show, and then at Blade Show, and the various other shows, and the mid-year releases. Oh my goodness. I don't see how Spyderco keeps up with them all. Anyhow, we also have the DPX Gear HEST F Urban. It's going to hit the market in a full production style, which should be really cool. And then from the Truth About Knives, we have a teen stabbed in the butt. Yeah, apparently it's an epidemic of some sort. Anyhow, moving along to video, and don't forget we've got that knife giveaway winner coming up later in the video. We've got Kevin Cleary with Supersteel to the rescue. It's a little talk about Supersteels, and it's probably well worth a watch. And from Birdshot IV, the Birds have gotten a hold of a Rike Thor4s. I don't know how to say that. It's a freaking cool knife, though. And Jim Skelton hits us up with the Begg Steelcraft series and his opinions on it. And I don't post a lot of Jim's videos, but this one, if you're interested in the Steelcraft series, is well worth a watch. And then from Alec Steel, we have making bolt jaw tongs. Anybody know what those are? I do. Do you? Alec will show you. Anyhow, and Cedric and Ada Outdoors, Pete over there gives us a look at the Benchmade Contigo and his opinions of that knife. And from 7 Ready, we've got the ZT-0460, that newer sink-of-inch design of the smaller knives. Pretty slick little knife, and 7 Ready's got you covered there. And then from Nick Shabazz, we have the We Knives Blitz. Warning to anybody that goes over there, there is a bit of a song that plays in the middle of that video that may cause problems for you. Nothing bad, nothing off color, of course. Nick doesn't do that. But any of you that were raised in Catholic school or anything like that, you may want to be careful. But go watch the video anyhow, just be prepared. And also have the knife gripes, of course, from Nick this week. And from Love Them Knives, he gets a look at the Rike P135 SF. Pretty cool knife. And Staza23 hits us up with, I've got it somewhere, the Sissel rope cut test on one of these. The Tangram Santa Fe in its Japanese Akuto. And you're going to want to watch that one. Staza lets you know what you're really getting out of that steel. And then from Hoffman Blacksmithing. And I don't know if we've looked at Hoffman Blacksmithing before, but anyhow, he's got a collaboration going with Alec Steel. Alec forged a Kopesh. If you didn't want to watch that one, it's on Alec's channel. It was an interesting build for Alec. Really put him to the test. And then he sent that raw forged blade over to Hoffman Blacksmithing. And the guy over there is finishing it out. And part 1 is what I've linked to, and he's got part 2 up already. So pretty cool there. And then from Walter Sorrells, we've got how to make a knife grinding jig. And if you do a lot of the same knife, these things are pretty important, and Walter's got a really simple way to make one. If you have a mill. If you don't, it's not quite so simple, but still, always good to hear from Walter. And then from the House of Wisdom, we have the Ferrum Forge Talon. And Priority Survival hits us up with the Bestech BT 1701A. And Dr. Frunky rounds things out today with the Koenig Arius. And that is a knife that, oh, I want one so bad. I've talked to Bill about it, and I just can't. Every time I want to buy one, it has to do with needing belts to make knives for you guys, and I still want one. That Arius is one cool knife. Anyhow, from here, we've got 2 parts to the second half of this video. You're going to want to watch them both. We'll have the winner of the Wii 701 and maybe more. Our first topic for today is budget knives. And we're going to go from budget knives to custom knives. This is going to be awesome. Anyhow, budget knives. First, I'm going to roll through some pictures of some of Kershaw's latest offerings. We've got the Link, the Dividend in Damascus, and that's Alabama Damascus, and in M390, and I don't have pictures of them, but House of Blades also has the Link in S35VN, and they may have the Dividend too. I didn't check, but I expect we'll see the Dividend, and wow, I hit the camera, S35VN. Sorry about that, guys. Now, why are these important? Why are they significant? Well, this is Kershaw responding, in my opinion. I don't have any concrete evidence, but this is Kershaw, in my opinion, responding to what's on the table. And what is it that's on the table? Well, on the table here, we have some of the best bang for your buck knives currently in the industry. And this represents the Rat 1, the soon-to-be Rat 2 and D2 steel, and the Essie, Avispa, and Zancudo that will be in D2, that already are in D2 steel. And I know those 2 companies would hate me for lumping them together, but I do because they came from the same people originally, and they're very similar knives. But $50 or less, guys, hard to beat it. Bestech has come out with their D2 knives, and we just rust tested these. And, we didn't prove that they're D2, but in my opinion, and talking to Bestech, these are D2 knives, and they're coming in at just over $50 with beautiful actions, ball bearing, ceramic ball bearing actions, and just wow, they're something else. And then we have Rike, which has come through with 14C28N knives at around $30 or so. And this is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful budget knives I have seen in a long time. I just love this design. It is, wow. Well, I'm not going to say any more. I just love it. And then, just in the past week or so, Kaiser, with their Tangram, has, and I'll figure out how to pronounce that before we do the full review, has brought the entire battle group here at $30 or less. Japanese Akuto, which is a 440C derivative, and as we saw in Stasic's cut test, a very dang good one. And wow. Just wow. So, what am I talking about with Kershaw? Well, I haven't seen any movement out of CRKT. I haven't seen any movement out of any of your other bubble pack brands. And by bubble pack, I mean you go into the Walmart, you go into the Academy Sports, they're hanging there on the rack, and they're between 20 and 40 bucks. Sometimes in Academy, they're 50 bucks. But those brands, I haven't seen any movement anywhere else. But Kershaw has took their U.S.-made knives that have been selling in the $30 to $40 range with 420HC, and over the past year, they've offered them an S35VN, now M390, and Alabama Damascus. Now, the unfortunate thing is these are not standard catalog offerings. What do I mean by catalog offerings? If you go to Kershaw's website, look them up, they don't show. And that makes me nervous. They need to be showing up in Kershaw's general production catalog as part of Kershaw's lineup. And I don't know that they will or not, but I'm just going to put a speculation out there as to what we're going to see. Because of these knives right here and some others, we're going to see Kershaw take their U.S. line, and they're going to reposition that U.S. line as a super value line for somewhat premium materials. And what do I mean by that? Well, the Link and the Dividend are aluminum handled stainless liner, but you can get them S35E in, or the Link you can get an S35E in, you can get both of them in 390, and you can get both of them in Alabama Damascus. And because of that, you are getting either really cool steel in the Damascus or really great steel in the M390 and the S35VN at less than $100. And that is a beautiful thing, and that's where I speculate that Kershaw is going. They're trying to reposition those U.S. knives as a super bang for your buck semi-premium line. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, I wish they get rid of the Speed Safe. I don't think we're going to see that happen. They could surprise me, of course, but I think Speed Safe is going to be their differentiator between the ZT line and the Kershaw line. If you go and buy a ZT, it's going to be properly detinted manual with bearings, and if you go to the Kershaw line, you're going to have Speed Safe. I wish that they would do something about that, and they would actually give themselves, you know, the budget line down here, the bubble pack stuff, and then they would have the US line with, I wish they'd move up from 420HC, but the US line with some reasonable steel in it, and then you're going to have the US line with some premium steel in it, and whenever you got to that premium steel, have great detents, bearings, and stick with the aluminum or G10 or whatever the handle material is. But I just don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see leaving the steel liners and the aluminum handles or G10 handles. And that's fine, because they're still giving us a knife that we could be interested in. Now, like I said, I haven't seen any movement out of the other bubble pack brands, but God, I hope we do, because these guys here and a couple of others are going to own the reasonable price knife industry if Kershaw, CRKT, etc. don't do something. All right, we're going to jump into part 2. I'm going to have to reset the table here a little bit, and then we'll jump into it. But first, let's get a look at the winner of that WE 701. Here we go, guys. We're going to pick the winner for that WE 701. Go up here and click Pick a Winner, and click the Pick a Winner button. And JB Knife Collector. He spelled pterodactyl right. And if you're wondering about the swordfish, I like the swordfish. But anyhow, you may not need one because you just won that WE 701. Pretty freaking cool knife. And get a hold of me and we'll get that knife out to you. My email address is in the very bottom of the description. I know the descriptions on these Apexes are long, but if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it's there. Anyhow, on with the show. Alright guys, congratulations to JB Knife Collector for winning the WE 701. Beautiful knife thanks to WE Knife Company and KME and Knife Crazy. Knife Crazy put that beautiful edge on there with his KME, and man, that is just a beautiful thing. Congratulations, buddy. Get a hold of me. Like I said, the information is down at the bottom of the description. And the second thing I want to talk about is Todd Knife and Tool and where we're going and why you see that logo in the Apex. Well, first off, guys, that is shameless self-promotion. 100%. Why is it shameless self-promotion? Well, because the AdSense revenue off of these videos really doesn't come up with enough money over the year to pay for the production of one video. It's just the way it is. AdSense is not a huge money-making thing unless you've got hundreds of thousands of viewers. So, because of that, and because this is my future, it's shameless self-promotion. Now, what have we been doing with Todd Knife and Tool? What is it? Well, Todd Knife and Tool is my brother and I in our endeavor to make knives for you. This here is a Master Chief Mark II. Got a compound ground blade, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it a lot. I've been carrying it. Now, the Mark III is on the way. Well, you say Mark III. Why don't you just make more Mark IIs? Well, whenever you make these knives, you do everything in CAD, blah, 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 and you make the knife, and then you say, well, I want to change this, or I want to change that. If I did this way, it'd be a little easier to mill, and if I did this way, it'd look a little better, and if I smoothed it out here or shrank it a little bit there, it'd fit in the pocket better. And those are the kind of things that we're looking at with the Master Chief. We're trying to hone it into a wonderful carry piece, and that's why there's going to be a Mark III. I love the Mark II, but I bet I'll like the Mark III better. This is a Todd Knife and Tool Micro Raptor, and this is the first iteration of that knife, and there's a second iteration of this one coming, and the second iteration of this one, of course, will have minor improvements all over, and we also have it fitted for a Wharncliffe-ish blade. So that's what's going on at Todd Knife and Tool South. At Todd Knife and Tool Midwest, where I'm at, it's been getting my grind on. Grind, learn how to grind, learn how to do this better, learn how to do that better. Practice, practice, practice. And that's what I've been doing with these shivers, and also trying to get production stuff in line so that it all smoothly transitions from one, or as smoothly as possible, from one place to another. Now I say production. I am the only one doing production except for the coder and the laser guy, but you understand what I mean. Try to get things where they move smoothly. And we're doing pretty good. I've got the 1095 knives are getting very close to being ready to go out, for those of you that wanted one. We've got black ceramic coated. We have what they call titanium ceramic coated. I actually think it looks more like a pewter, but I love that one. This color is just beautiful to me. And as you can see, all of them are ground a little bit different. Some of them better than others. Some of them have little issues. Some of them don't. And that's just part of the learning process, and why this first round of shivers is going to be very, very reasonably priced. And, you know, there's the very first one of them I ground out in a sheep's foot. That come out kind of nice. And some of them are 3-inch, some of them are 2.5 inch. I've got kind of a smattering of both. And then, since those were ground, I've been doing some other things. You guys probably saw this on the Instagrams. If you didn't, the Instagram is down in the description, as well as the Todd Knife and Tool Instagram. Get them both, the Zelrick 42 and the Todd Knife and Tool, if you would like to see these knives as they get built. And this is kind of a Persian thing that I haven't named yet. If anybody's got great ideas, put them down in the comments. And it turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. And wow, I did one in CTS XHP. And here is the CTS XHP, very first one. And I'm going to be doing more of these in CTS XHP. However, because of the expense of the steel and the tooling that it eats up, and part of that's my fault. I've got to get some better tooling, and I've got to get better at the feeds and speeds. But these are going to be significantly more expensive because, well, quite honestly, I can get about 70% more steel with 01 than I can get in CTX XHP. So the price is significantly higher. It's one of those things, you know, we've talked about prices before and how for the major manufacturers the price differences are fairly small. Well, this is one of those places where it's not exactly true. The price difference between 01 and CTS XHP is significant. And the tooling, sandpaper, well, abrasives in general, and all that XHP eats up is considerably higher, and so is the amount of time that has to be put into it. So those will be considerably more expensive. And I'm not really going to take books on them at the moment. And it's kind of like this. I don't have the time to be building too many CTS XHP knives. I've got to get through some of the 01 stuff first and get that stuff out there for you guys. And that's kind of what's going on with Todd Knife and Tool, and why you see that dog or the Crusader or whatever in the Apex videos. It is shameless self-promotion for our own knife-making endeavors. And now, since you've hung out with us this long, we're going to give away the Best Tech Kendo. Best Tech was very generous and sent several knives to us, and I want to pass that along to you guys. And I was hoping that you guys would enjoy the idea of having the Kendo that has been through the rust test. It's been through the disassembly and reassembly process in the What's Inside video. And it is just a cool little knife. I have carried it some. I've got the review done on it. You'll be seeing that very soon. And you guys know the drill. 18 years old. Have a U.S. address. And that means, I don't care where you live, but your mailing address has got to be U.S. and you've got to be 18 years of age or older. And you're responsible for any legal restrictions in your area, because I can mail this to any post office in the United States. It's up to you whenever you take possession of this thing to be within the laws in your area. So, Kendo, before any comments you might make, and meet the requirements, and this will go out to some lucky guy next week, and it has been sharpened by me, not quite as pretty as Knife Crazy with his sharpening, but it's darn sharp. And you guys have a wonderful day. If you'd like to get a hold of me about the shivers, you can email me. It's way down there in the bottom of the description as well. And I'll answer whatever questions I can about them. And you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to put Kendo before whatever comments you want to make. And you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.